Hello and welcome to another On Deck Baseball gameplay video. We are back in the King of the Hill tournament for On Deck Baseball Pro. This is game number 22, and the returning King of the Hill, the 2001 Seattle American League Ball Club, is facing a new challenger in 1975 Cincinnati. Definitely a fan favorite. Excited to have them on my table finally in this King of the Hill tournament. In the last game, game 21, Seattle defeated 1994 Montreal in last inning, extra inning heroics by Pedro Martinez, who hit a double, scoring Ichiro to win the game. It had been an exciting game. Jamie Moyer was a starter in that game. He went 5 innings, gave up 4. Joel Pinero ended up with the victory. He gave up 2 runs, only 1 earned, and Seattle came away victorious. I do have a change in the Seattle lineup, but before we get to the lineups and a pitcher, please hit that thumbs up, leave a comment below. As you know, all that helps these videos get more reach. So let's go ahead and take a look at our newest challengers. That is 1975 Cincinnati National League, and we will take a look at the starting lineup. We have the all-time hit king Pete Rose batting leadoff and playing third base. Joe Morgan, second baseman. He'll be batting second. 17 home runs, 67 stolen bases, batted .327 in 1975. Morgan was a great player. Johnny Bench behind the plate. He's going to be batting third, batted .283 with 28 home runs in 1975. Tony Perez over at first, batted .282 with 20 home runs. George Foster, or left fielder, great defensive left fielder, batted .323 home runs. 1975. Dave Concepcion, a speedy shortstop, 33 stolen bases, a good defender at the shortstop position. Ken Griffey, of course, everybody knows Ken Griffey Jr. Well, before him was a great player, and Ken Griffey batted .305, 4 home runs, 16 stolen bases, integral part of the Big Red Machine. We do have a DH in this King of the Hill tournament, and for Cincinnati, that's going to be Dan Dreesen, a .281 hitter, 7 home runs, 10 stolen bases. And then in the 9th spot is going to be Cesar Geronimo, .257 hitter, 6 home runs, 13 stolen bases, a great defender out in center field. On the mound is going to be a young Don Gullett. I believe he was 24 years old in 1975. And he had a record of 15-4, a 2.42 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 98 Ks against 56 walks. I chose him to be the starter because he was the Game 1 starter in the World Series that year. His opponent, coming from Seattle, is going to be Aaron Seeley. Aaron Seeley in 2001 had a 3.60 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 114 Ks against 51 walks, and had a record of 15-5, 2 complete games. You will see that the difference in this is going to be how far these pitchers can go. Gullett is a 5 stamina or 4 endurance, while Seeley is a 5 stamina with 2 endurance, 8 complete games for Gullett. The Seattle lineup is basically the same. There is one difference. We're going to have Ichiro leading off. Batting second this game is going to be Stan Javier, and that's because of the left-handed throwing Don Gullett. Mark McLemore was the starter, but he's pretty much a terrible hitter that year against left-handed pitchers. Batting third, Brett Boone. Edgar Martinez, a hero from last game, batting fourth, your DH. John Orrud at first base, batting fifth. Mike Cameron batting sixth in center. Dan Wilson behind the plate, batting seventh. David Bell going to be your third baseman. And batting in the 9th spot, Carlos Guillen at shortstop. So that is going to do it for our lineups and pitching. Let's go ahead and get started here with our first pitch. I am, of course, going to write in my little charts here to make things easier as we switch these pitchers up. Seeley is going to go 5 innings, and he is a right-handed pitcher for 3. Having this little chart definitely makes things a little bit easier as I can keep the pitchers with their backs up. Gullett, do the same over here on Seattle's scorecard. All right. So with that set, we're going to go ahead and get started here with first pitch. This is going to be your King of the Hills 2001 Seattle facing their newest challenger, 1975 Cincinnati. All right, Pete Rose coming to the plate. Pete Rose had a pretty good season. 317 average, 7 home runs, 89 walks against, 50 Ks, and a good defender. He was an all-star at like 5 different positions or something like that. All right. Rose is a switch hitter against a righty pitcher. He's going to be batting lefty. It's going to be equal roll. And that's going to be a pitcher's card. I'll be reading the blue die first. And a 3-8 is going to be a flyout. That flyout's going to go to left field. So a quick flyout to left for the first out of the game. Then it's going to bring up Joe Morgan. Morgan, a left-handed batter. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Morgan. 3-5, though, is going to be a ground out. And that grounder is going to go to first for 3U as Olerud picks it up. Bench now. Strong, powerful bat and a rocket for an arm behind the plate. Arguably one of the best catchers all time. Definitely right up there in the top 3, if not the best. All right, Johnny Bench. He is a right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. It's going to be equal. And it's going to be a batter's card for Bench. 5-8 is going to be a flyout, though. And that flyout is going to go to left. So another flyout over to Javier for the out. And that's going to be 3 down as we head to the bottom of the first. Don Gullett on the mound. Some pretty good artwork there. And he's going to be facing Ichiro as the first batter here in the bottom of the first. Ichiro went 6 for 6 last game with 3 runs scored and 2 stolen bases. So quite a game for Ichiro. Lefty versus lefty here. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Gullett. 8-5 is a flyout. So for the first time in 7 at-bats, Ichiro will make an out as he flies out to right. Stan Javier, this is his first at-bat in the tournament. He is a switch hitter. He'll be batting from the right side. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 7-9, though, is going to be a base hit. So Javier gets the first hit of the game. He's on first as Brett Boone will make his way to the plate. Brett Boone had a pretty good game. He had a sacrifice with an RBI and a single in 6 plate appearances last game. Righty versus lefty, it's going to be -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 10-1 is a line out, and that line out is going to go to short. Edgar Martinez, as I mentioned, the hero for last game, he is up now. He went 3 for 6 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs last game. He is a right-handed batter. It's going to be equal roll. It's going to be a pitcher's card. And a 3-8 looks like it's going to get us out of the inning as that flyout is going to go to right field. So nothing happening in the first. We're going to head back over to the top of the second now. Seeley's still on the mound and he's going to face off against Tony Perez. Just kick things off here in the top of the second. Right-handed batter for Perez. It's going to be equal roll. And it's going to be a pitcher's card for Seeley. 4-4 is a grounder. That ground ball is going to go to second, so 4-3, and quickly there's one away here in the top of the second. George Foster, he was one of my favorite players growing up early on, especially when he came over to the Mets for that short period of time. Alright, so he is going to be a +1 on the roll here. That's going to be a batter's card for Foster. 5-8 is a flyout. So Foster gets a hold of one, but it's not enough as he flies out to right. Dave Concepcion now walking up to the batter's box. Concepcion, right-handed batter. It's going to be equal on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 6-6 is a grounder. So Seeley pitching pretty good here as he gets the ground ball to short to end things, and that's 1, 2, 3 innings for him, and we get to roll on his poise chart. 1, 2, 3 innings consecutive get you a roll on this happy face poise to increase his ratings. We roll a 7 and he does not, so no increase there, but he is pitching pretty well so far through 2. And that's going to bring us to the bottom of the second. John Olerud will be your batter. Olerud was 1 for 4 with a walk and an RBI last game. Lefty versus lefty, it's going to be -2. That's going to still be a batter's card. And a 5-6 is going to be a ground ball. Grounder is going to go to third. By the way, my GoPro crapped out on me before this game for unknown reasons, so I am using a different camera here for our dice. So I'm hoping that it comes out alright. We'll see in the editing process. Alright, so we're going to have Cameron now due up. He is a right-handed batter. It's going to be +1. That's a batter's card for Cameron. 8-1 is a flyout. Flyout to left field. That's 2 away. Dan Wilson coming to the plate. Right-handed batter, it's going to be equal roll. And a pitcher's card for Gullett. 3-10 is a flyout. So Gullett gives up the 1 hit in the first, but he's starting to cruise as that flyout to left is going to end the bottom of the second. We head back over to the top of the third now. Seeley's still pitching pretty good, and the elder Griffey coming to the plate. Griffey, a left-handed batter, it's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 5-5 is a ground out, and that ground out is going to go to second, so 4-3. 2 more outs, and we'll get an automatic upgrade on Seeley, so we're definitely shooting for that as Dan Dreesen heads over to the plate. Left-handed batter, it's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-4 is a ground out. 1 out away now from that automatic increase as he grounds out the short, and Cesar Geronimo will be the batter. Left-handed batter, it's going to be -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Geronimo. 8-5 is our first Cincinnati base hit, and we do not get an automatic upgrade as we have 1 man on with 2 away, and going back to the top of the order now. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose coming to the plate. He is a switch hitter. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-1 is going to be a strikeout. So Rose is down on strikes. Caught looking on that one. And that's going to bring us to the bottom of the third. Don Gullett still in control here against Seattle. It's going to be righty versus lefty, equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Gullett. 2-2 is a strikeout. First strikeout of the game for Gullett. Sorry, that was David Bell hitting. And we're going to have Carlos Guillen at the plate now. It's going to be a switch hitter, so it's going to be equal roll. That's a batter's card for Guillen. And a 9-1 is a flyout to center field. Gullett cruising right now. Ichiro Suzuki flew out to right in his first at-bat. Lefty versus lefty, it's equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Gullett. And a 7-2 is going to be a pop-out. So he gets jammed and will pop it out to first base for the final out of the inning. And that is 2 consecutive 1-2-3s for Gullett now. We get to roll on that happy face. A 6, and that is no change. So both pitchers are cruising. We got the works of a pitcher's duel here. Neither one of them got the upgrade, but still in control of the opposing team's offense. That's going to bring up Joe Morgan, left-handed batter. Going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to go up to a batter's card for Morgan. A lot of good opportunities for base hits and walks on that card. And that might be one of them. A 7-9 is a base hit. Morgan reaches on a single. Do we want to try and steal? I think we're going to try to. Jump is a 5. Hold runners is a -3. So let's see if we get the jump for Morgan. It's a +2 on the roll. We do. The catcher's arm, Wilson, is just a 3. And we are going to be stealing second base on a 3 arm. A 70% chance that Morgan will get there. We roll an 8, and he does. So he steals second base. Morgan works himself into scoring position with nobody out. And the heart of the lineup coming up. Johnny Bench, 0 for 1, flew out to left in his first at-bat. It's righty versus righty, equal roll. And that's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-7 is a ground ball. This may advance the runner. Ground ball goes to third base. It does not advance the runner. We have 1 away, man on second still. And Tony Perez coming to the plate. Righty versus righty, equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Perez. 4-3 is a strikeout. So quickly there's two away. Morgan still standing with his hands on his hips saying, "Get me in, guys," as George Foster comes to the plate. A +1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-2 though, and Foster will go down looking. That is the third strikeout for Seeley as he works himself out of trouble. And we now head to the bottom of the fourth. No score here in Seattle. That's going to bring up Stan Javier. Javier, I didn't go over his stats, but for 2001, he batted .292, 4 home runs, had 11 stolen bases. He is pretty speedy, and he is a good defender in the outfield. He is a switch hitter, so it's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-9 is a flyout. Flyout will go to center. So Gullett still firmly in control here. Brett Boone coming up. He is a right-handed batter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Boone. 8-7 is a base hit plus. He's most likely not going to advance. He's not that fast, so I'm going to take the single, and we're going to bring up Edgar Martinez here. See if he can work his magic for some more heroics here. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 1-4 is a strikeout. That is a tough matrix on Don Gullett's card here. So, no surprise there that we work a strikeout for Martinez. That's going to bring up Olerud, left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher. It's -2. That's going to go down to a pitcher's card. 6-2 is a ground ball for the final out of the inning, and that grounder is going to go to short. Concepcion shoots it over to Perez for the final out. We're heading to the top of the fifth now. Still no score, as we have the workings of a pitcher's duel here in Seattle. Concepcion, who made the last out in the field, last half inning, is going to be your leadoff hitter. He is a righty versus a righty pitcher. It's equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 7-5 is a flyout to kick things off here, and the flyout's going to go to center. Ken Griffey will be your batter with one away here in the top of the fifth. Left-handed batter. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 10-7 is a double. Griffey shoots one down into the corner and right. Ends up with a stand-up double, and we have a man in scoring position with one away. Dan Dreesen now coming up. See if Cincinnati can get things going here. He is a left-handed batter. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-8 is going to be a flyout. Flyout going to right field, 2 away. Cesar Geronimo now coming up. Cincinnati's last hope here in the top of the fifth with a man on second. It's going to be left-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. It's -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-4 is a flyout. Almost a single, but that flyout's going to go to right to end the top of the fifth here. Still no score as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Don Gullett be facing off against Mike Cameron here to kick off the bottom of the fifth inning. Righty versus lefty, so it's going to be a +1 on the roll. That's a batter's card for Cameron. 3-3 though is a strikeout. Dan Wilson, the catcher, now up with one away. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-1 is a strikeout. We got a chance at 3 strikeouts here. If you strike out the side, you get an automatic increase as well. So a good chance here for Gullett up against David Bell. Right-hander against a left-handed pitcher. It's going to be a equal roll. And that's a batter's card for Bell. 10-10. We have our first run of the game here, folks. Home run, David Bell off of Gullett. Deep left field. And Seattle now is up 1-0. Just the third hit of the game here for Seattle, but it is a big one, as Seattle now holds a 1-0 lead with 2 away here in the bottom of the fifth. Carlos Guillen, the batter, switch hitter. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card. 7-8 is a single. Man on first, 2 away. Seattle trying to get some more runs across the plate here as Ichiro steps up. He is 0 for 2. Lefty versus lefty. It's equal roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 7-10. A base hit. Ichiro gets another hit here in the King of the Hill tournament. Guillen is going to stop at second, though. And we have first and second with 2 away. Stan Javier, now the batter. He is going to be a +1 on the roll. It's going to be a batter's card. Can Javier continue things here for Seattle? 8-8. And that's a base hit plus. With 2 away here, Guillen is going to score. A base hit plus is in the gap. Ichiro is going to come around with 2 outs to score as well. And that is a 2 RBI single for Stan Javier as Seattle is now up 3-0. And we have to roll on a sad face poise chart for Gullett. Boy, how things have turned, and that is a hit. That is a -1 as he goes down to a 3-2. Coming into this inning, he was firmly in charge, but he has lost things here as he has now given up 3 runs, and there is still a man on first with 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th for Seattle. Brett Boone, the batter. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Boone. 9-4. Another base hit. Javier is going to be on third. We get a chance to check, see if we want to advance. It goes to center field. The center fielder's arm, Geronimo, is a 4. Javier, that'd be a 50-50 shot. I think we're going to go. I think Seattle's going to try and pour it on here. And, yeah, Geronimo's going to go for him. So 50-50 shot. We're rolling 1 die here. We roll a 1, and he is gunned down. Geronimo guns down Javier trying to score. He ran through the stop sign by the third base coach, and an 8-2 is going to end the inning. Last out made at the plate, but Seattle is up 3-0 after a 3-run bottom 5. So we head now into the top of the 6th, and Aaron Seeley is cruising along. We are going to have to roll on his fatigue chart. He's a 4-3. We're going to take that first check on the first inning. We roll a 5, which is a -1. So he goes down to a 3-2. The bullpen is getting active for Seattle, just in case any trouble occurs, this being the top of the order for Cincinnati. Rose is now the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. And it's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Seeley. 1-1 is a second strikeout for Rose. Not something he did very often, but that is 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Joe Morgan now the batter. Left-handed batter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's going to be still a pitcher's card. 4-1 is another strikeout. Can Seeley get 3 consecutive strikeouts and strike out the side here for an increase? Johnny Bench the batter. 0 for 2. Righty versus righty. It's a +1. That's going to be a batter's card for Bench. 8-3 is a possible error check. We'll roll on the same matrix here. And it's a 10-9. A 10-9 on an error check. That means it is a possible home run. We could potentially rob this home run. That's going to go to center field. The center fielder is Cameron. He is a good defender, guys. We are going to check on his primary position. If he gets a happy face, he will rob this home run. So primary position, we got a 30% chance of robbing Bench of a home run. That is a 2, 8, or 9. We roll. It's a 2. Mike Cameron robs Johnny Bench of a home run. What a play by Cameron as a deep fly out and takes one away from Bench and Cincinnati, as that will end the inning. Wow. Everything seems to be going Seattle's way here. And we're going to have to roll on Gullett again. It's only 1 inning past his max, so pretty good chance he's going to remain the same. We're going to go ahead and roll. We roll a 5, and that's a -1. As I said, everything is going Seattle's way. And that is going to bring up Edgar Martinez now to lead off the bottom of the 6th. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's a batter's card. 5-1 is a strikeout. Gullett, needless to say, is going to have a short leash here. Olerud, left-handed batter, it's going to be equal. Pitcher's card for Gullett. 4-5 is a flyout to left. And Mike Cameron, who robbed Johnny Bench of a home run last inning, is now the batter. Right-handed batter, it's going to be +3. That's going to be a batter's card for Cameron. And a 1-7 is going to be a ground ball. So that ground ball is going to end the inning here. A 6-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. All right, we're heading now to the top of the 7th. Seattle is up 3-0. And I think we're going to have to pull Sealy. And I think we're going to have to go, let's see, we got a bunch of righties coming up. We're going to have to go with Jeff Nelson, try and get a couple innings with him. So Sealy does his job as he goes 6 innings, giving up just 3 hits, no runs, no walks, while striking out 5 and faced 21 batters. So a great performance out of Sealy. That's going to give way to Jeff Nelson here. Nelson, a right-handed pitcher. He can go 1 inning before checking his fatigue. All right. So, Bench having made the last out, being robbed of a home run last inning, it's going to bring up Tony Perez for the first batter Nelson will face. Righty versus righty, it's -2. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Nelson. 2-5 is a strikeout. Take a look at this matrix on Nelson. A lot of strikeouts. We're going to see if they get a lot of pitcher's cards. George Foster, he's 0 for 2. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Foster. 5-3, but he cannot get anything going as he will ground out. And that ball will be taken by Olerud, a 3U. Concepcion coming up. Righty versus righty, -2. That's going to be a pitcher's card. And a 2-9 is going to be a ground ball. So a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th as the third baseman Bell will shoot it over to Olerud for the last out. I'll grab some water real quick, and we're going to have to start looking at options from our Cincinnati bullpen. So I believe Gullett is going to come out. We got a pretty decent 2-inning reliever here, as Clay Carroll will be coming into the ball game. 2.62 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. He had 7 saves and had a record of 7-5. He is a righty. As I mentioned, goes 2 is a 3 against lefty and a 4 against righties. Alright, so that is going to bring up Dan Wilson now. Here in the the bottom of the 7th. And it is righty versus righty, a -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Wilson. 2-1 is a strikeout. So quickly, Carroll gets Wilson to strike out, swinging on that high heat. And David Bell is your batter. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Bell. Bell had a home run his last at-bat, but this is going to be a grounder to first base. Perez over to Carroll for the out, and we have 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Carlos Guillen comes to the plate. He does have 1 hit and scored a run. Switch hitter, it's going to be -1. That is a batter's card for Guillen. 3-7 is a grounder. That ground ball will be going to third base, and a 5-3 is going to end the bottom of the 7th. As we now go to the top of the 8th, Nelson on the mound still. And we're going to roll on his first inning. He's most likely going to take a hit here. And he does. It's a -2. So that is going to bring him down to a 2-3. Cincinnati may be able to work their magic a little bit here. Griffey going to be leading off the top of the 8th. going to be +2 here. That's going to be a batter's card. 3-7 is a grounder. That grounder will be going to first. Olerud shoots it over to Nelson covering for the first out here in the top of the 8th. Dan Dreesen, your batter, 0 for 2. Left-handed batter is going to be +2. That is going to be a batter's card for Dreesen. And 8-2 is a walk. So we have 1 on and 1 out. Says our Geronimo, your batter. Left-handed batter, it's going to be +1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-6 is a walk. So Nelson getting in trouble here. Seattle's bullpen is up. Might not have wanted to stretch Nelson this far, but we're going to keep him in, see what happens. Switch hitter in Rose. It's a +2. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 8-7 is another walk. We have bases loaded here. Cincinnati making a game of it. Getting interest in here in the top of the 8th. And Joe Morgan coming to the plate. Left-handed batter, it's +3. That's going to be a batter's card for Morgan. A 1-8 is a situation. Oh, this could go so wrong here for Seattle. Let's take a look at what we have. We're going to roll both die here on the matrix. It's a 3-3. It's on the first baseman, Olerud. We've got to find our first base card. There we go. And we will roll 1 die. We roll a 1. Batter hits weak ground ball to first base. First baseman tries to complete the play to first with a barehanded grab. If first baseman's defensive rating plus roll plus the batter's speed is less than 6, batter is out on a 3-1. So, and all base runners will advance 1 base. So, Olerud's defense is a -3. Morgan is a 5 speed, so that's already a +2. It's not looking good to get this out. Oh, he does. Olerud with the play. It's going to be a 3-1. The run will score, though. And we have 2 away. Fantastic play by Olerud from his knees. Shoots it over to Nelson covering first. And we have 2 outs. A run does come in, but Cincinnati is still down by 2. Johnny Bench maybe looking for a little revenge here. 1 swing could put Cincinnati ahead. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card. A 5-6, though, is not going to do it, and that flyout is going to go to left to end the threat. So a play by Olerud saves the inning and possibly the game. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, Clay Carroll still on the mound. Ichiro coming to the plate now. He is 1 for 3. It is going to be a +2 on a roll. That's a batter's card. 5-10 is a walk, so Ichiro is on first with no outs, and Stan Javier coming to the plate. Now he got pegged at home by the huge Geronimo throw, but he is 2 for 3 in the game. A switch hitter, it's going to be equal roll. It's going to be a pitcher's card for Carroll. A 10-8 is a single. Ichiro is going to be at second. We got first and second, nobody out in the middle of the lineup coming up for Seattle. It's going to be righty-righty. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-5 is a grounder. And the grounder, a possible double play ball here, goes to third. Third baseman Rose is a 4 fielding. A 4, we're going to go the traditional way on Javier. It's a 50-50 shot. Sorry, it's a 80% shot that he's going to be safe. 80% chance that he's going to be out. Sorry. We roll 1 die. He is out. That is a 5-4. The second baseman Morgan is a 4 as well on Boone. Meanwhile, Ichiro will advance to third. And Boone has a 30% chance of making it here. And he does. He beats it out on a fielder's choice. 5-4. We have first and third with 1 out. Edgar Martinez now up. Righty versus righty. It's going to be equal. That is a pitcher's card. 6-3 is another ground out. That ground ball is going to go to shortstop. The shortstop Concepcion, he's a 4. Got a 10% chance that Boone will beat this one out. We roll a 6. He does not. So it's a 6-4. The second baseman, Morgan, is a 4 on Martinez. This will get the inning over. A possible run will score if they do not make this play. We roll 1 die, we roll an 8, and they do get the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. And we are going to head to the top of the 9th inning. Seattle up 3-1 with Tony Perez coming up. Nelson is going to come out of the game. And we're going to see the closer come in for Seattle, and that is Kazuhiro Sasaki. He had 45 saves, a 3.24 ERA, and a .89 whip in 2001. So let's see if he can shut him down or if Cincinnati is going to make things interesting. Tony Perez stepping up to the plate. Sasaki is a right-handed pitcher. He's only going to go 1 and a 4-5. So it's going to be a -2 on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card all day. 5-2 is possible passed ball. So, nobody on. The pass ball doesn't even come into play, so we're just going to re-roll on the same matrix. We roll a 2-2, and that is a strikeout. Sasaki, 2 outs away from a save here, as George Foster is going to come to the plate. Right-handed batter. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a 3 for a pitcher's card. 5-7 is going to be a ground ball, and that grounder is going to go to third. 5-3. Seattle 1 out away from defeating their challenger, 1975 Cincinnati. Excuse me. Dave Concepcion, the batter. -2 on the roll. That's going to go down to a pitcher's card. This is a tough matrix to get on base off of, folks. Roll 2 die. It is a 10-1. That is a flyout as Seattle defeats 1975 Cincinnati. The fly ball goes to left for the final out here in the top of the 9th, as Seattle is victorious by a score of 3-1. Aaron Seeley pitched a heck of a game, and I think we're going to have to give him the player of the game. He was our starting pitcher for Seattle. Aaron Seeley goes 6 innings, allows just 3 hits, no runs, while striking out 5 and walking none. That is your game, folks. We are going to quickly mark off our fatigue here. Garcia gets another one. He pitched our first game for Seattle, Moyer and Pinero. And then we're going to go ahead and pop in our new fatigue, which we saw Seeley, Nelson, and Sasaki pitch in this one. Seeley is going to go in as a -3, needing 3 days of rest. Nelson and Sasaki will go in needing 1 day of rest. So the bullpen is going to be hurting here moving forward. But Seattle does come away with the win here. Guys, if you enjoyed that game, please hit a thumbs up, leave a comment. A heck of a game for Seattle, who is victorious here over 1975 Cincinnati by a score of 3-1. We will figure out who their new challengers will be in another vote. Cincinnati was a huge winner in the vote, coming to be this challenger for this game. We'll see what kind of teams we can get in on the next one. So I do thank you for joining me today. Again, 2001 Seattle, they are your reigning King of the Hill champions as they defend the Hill against 1975 Cincinnati with a win of 3-1 as your score and final. Thank you and have a good night.